That's enough. That's enough.
We owns 20 patents.
Thanks, George. All right. Well, welcome everyone. How is everyone today?
Great.
No. What was
Sababa.
Let me try again. How is everyone today?
Sababa.
That's better. Good. So listen, thanks so much to George, who's worked for many days to prepare this for all of us, as well as all the other organisers and the sponsors. So really thanks to everyone, and thanks to you all for coming. I think based on the introductions, we are a very interesting group of people, and we have a lot of skills and experience, and I'm sure that we're all going to learn a lot of stuff here. So there's a Twitter feed over here. I see that many of you are tweeting already. And while I talk, I will try to keep an eye on that. So if I see, bored, yawn coming up, I'll speed up.
Just a minute.
So you just give me feedback on the tweets feed over there. So the subject is reality computing. This is quite in some ways a vague subject. I'm going to try and add some specific technical content to that, and also to broaden it. Now the hackathon is all about what you guys want to do. Yeah, my job is just to suggest a theme and a direction, throw out some ideas. But within an hour or two, a couple of hours from now, you're all going to get into teams based on ideas that you have. So what I talk, if hopefully some of you have come with ideas in your head. For those of you who haven't, think about ideas now. We want to see at least 10, if not more people, stand up later to suggest an idea, and then we will divide into groups around those ideas, and we will have something like maybe 8 groups or something like that, working on specific projects for the next day and a half. Okay? So the role of this presentation is just to get your thinking, going basically. Now, this is actually, turns out to be part of an international hackathon. I have to admit that we didn't, when we planned it, we weren't aware of this. So this is a retrospective thing, but there is the International Open Data Hackathon. The official date is next weekend, but we want to be the first in the world. And I have to admit that we only discovered this, Nomi or someone discovered it this morning. But we're very agile in the organization team. And as of this morning, this hackathon is part of the International Hackathon Weekend on Open Data. So we can be proud to know that we are part of and the leaders of an international hackathon. And open data, as you will see, is very closely related to what I mean when I talk about reality computing. So this is very relevant. So I will talk a little bit about the vision for reality computing. I'll talk a little bit about some resources that you can use for that. I'll talk about how one cooperates in a team, open source, commercial, this kind of thing, for briefly. I will very quickly go through some of the general technologies and resources that can be used by teams. Some of you will know some of this, but I think the refresher will be very useful because I'll try and discuss things which are relevant to the teams right now. A little bit about how to structure your plan and your team for the project. And then we will go into brainstorming for projects. And I think what we're doing, if I remember the agenda, is over lunch, people will start to make informal 1-minute pitches. You just get up and for 60 seconds or something like that, you throw out an idea. It doesn't have to be a good or a fully developed idea, it can just be a direction. And then you see, then there will be some time to see if people respond and if you can recruit a team to work on your idea. Again, the ideas can be vague, they can be closely related to reality computing or not so close. The idea is not to be strict, the idea is to be, of course, creative. So let's start and talk a little bit about the vision for reality computing. And, really the vision for reality computing is that in the future, software can interact with the real world just as easily as the software can react with its own data. So today, software has got its own object graph, it's got its own database sometimes, and the software only understands that. In the future, the idea is that all the data in the world is understood by computers, and your computer program can just interact with any data in the world effectively. There are many trends which are contributing to this. The original idea was called semantic web. I'll talk a bit more about that. But nowadays, we have mobile computing, right? Many of us have computers in our pockets, and these computers are aware of location. They have access to the internet. They have access to, they know your identity. So there's a lot of data here about the real world in these portable computing devices. Of course, there's a social graph, Facebook and others, so there's more information than ever before available about people. And there's ideas of augmented reality. A lot of computing is moving to the cloud, so much more data is on the internet, much less data is sitting inside IT rooms, inside the companies, right? More and more stuff is on the internet. You guys know all of this, so I'm moving on. Now, the idea of reality computing, of course, is happening already in some ways. We want it to happen a lot more broadly and a lot more openly, but it's already happening, and here are some examples. Any of you saw the Google self-driving car? I'm sure some of you have at least read about it, or if you're driving around California, then you may have seen it. For those who don't know, Google have created a fleet of cars which are driven by computers. They have sensors all around them, and a computer will, someone types in, I want to drive from San Francisco to Los Angeles, and the car drives on the highways, on the public roads. It's aware of other cars, it's aware of navigation, it's aware of